Hi YouTube, I have an opinion, and it's pretty simple. It's that Resident Evil 7 Madhouse mode is better than Resident Evil 8's Village of Shadows mode. And here's why. I don't own Resident Evil 8 physically. I own it digitally on the PS4.
Let's start off with the things I thought Village of Shadows did right, or at least competently. You see late game enemies much earlier on, as soon as you make it to the Lycan survival part early on in the game, you'll see the armored Lycan enemies. They have even added normal enemies to certain boss fights. It's that sort of things that makes a Village of Shadows run through just as exciting as your first time through. They keep the same amount of ammo, and key items are basically all in the same place as a normal mode, which is fine considering that they don't skip out on the number of enemies you face. If anything, there's more, and that leads into one of my biggest problems with Village of Shadows. There are just way too many enemies. Remember how I said that they added enemies to some boss fights? Sure, it adds a surprise element to the fights instead of just having a boss that hits harder and has more health, but some of these fights just feel impossible most of the time. The most egregious example has to be the fight against the first daughter. It takes place in a small arena with 3 fast enemies that can kill you very quickly, especially this early on in the game. The best strategy I found was to push as much as possible. It's a mechanic I didn't even know existed until this playthrough, that you can push after a block. I guess you can say that that's a good thing. It forced me to learn different mechanics of the game, but until you do, which isn't always extremely obvious, you will die a lot, and it can get pretty aggravating. Now, to Madhouse mode, which in my opinion is the better of the two. Let's start off with the bad things first. The boss fights, unlike Village, are just for the most part higher health and damage, with the only difference being the number of items in the area. It's one of the things that sticks out considering all the other differences that have been made to Madhouse. Madhouse feels like a new experience, while Village of Shadows just feels like a harder mode. Now the good things about Madhouse that makes it that new experience. Just like Village, enemies and the types of them have been shifted, with later game enemies coming much earlier. The difference with this is that the amount of them has been lowered. The enemies hit harder, but there's less of them, so it never feels impossible. The items are arranged in different locations with less ammo spread out, but there's more powerful ammo. You have access to more powerful weapons much earlier to balance out the more powerful enemies. You never know what's coming around the next corner. It surprises you, and that is something I think Village of Shadow fails at doing.
So YouTube, that's my opinion. If you share it, or if you don't, spread it like a disease wherever you may please, and I'll see you next time.